Hello, and welcome to A Sunny Book Nook. Today I am going to be doing the Butterface book tag, or the book cover book tag, created by CJ Reads, which I saw on GK Reads. This is basically gonna be me being judgmental about book covers, mostly from books that I really enjoy, so this is not to shame these books themselves, but rather to shame their covers, which I think are bad for various reasons. So let's get into it. Number 1, the prompt is "Say it, don't spray it." Cover with the most offensive use of type. And for this one, I must say Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro. I think that the font, the type of this cover, it irks my soul in this really, I don't know, in this way that taps into like my youth, because I remember like being a kid and seeing this type of font on things and being like, ew, because it was like a font that adults would use to try to appeal to us as children, because I don't know, something about like the sans serif, like curliness and like blockiness of it was like, I don't know, kid-like to them, I guess, but I was always just like, I don't like that, get it away from me. So I feel like since this is a middle grade young adult book, it's like trying to do that same thing where like it appeals to a younger audience, but it ends up just looking really weird and unincorporated into the image. Like, this book cover is just not that good, I don't think. Everything from the font to the colors to how it's positioned, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this, but I do really like the book. I think I rated it like 5 stars when I read it because it's really good. But book cover and the type, not so much. Number 2 on this prompt list is She's Serving Reese's Bookclub, which is basically like a book with a really commercial looking cover. For this, I really have to say All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. Like, the painting is beautiful, but I think there's something, again, about the font that just makes me be like, ugh. And it really does feel like a commercial, wannabe commercial book, like a Reese's book club pick type. Everything from like the, I don't know, the color use to the type. Again, I have issues with this type of font, to be honest. Like, I think this is the real problem here. So the prompt number 3 is "Yes, girl, give us nothing." And this is a cover that looks like it had little to no energy put into it. And for this, I definitely have to say Miracle Creek by Angie Kim, because what is this? First of all, the font, disgusting. Second of all, the photo, like the image, and then like the color grading and the it really has nothing to do with the actual story. Like, the story is really compelling and such a wonderful book. It's kind of like a courtroom thriller mystery, and it is so good, and it talks about motherhood and immigration and race and kids with autism and how people and adults treat children with disabilities, and all within the scope of like this fire. And and also like toxic relationships and cheating men. Like, I don't know. It's a really good book, but this cover does not do it justice at all. What are these leaves? What are we looking at? Like, why? For what? I don't get it. And I really think that for the cover, they really just took a stock image of some leaves, color graded it a little bit, put some filters on it, and then put a papyrus font for the title on top of it. Like, what the fuck? That is so rude and disrespectful to the story. Ugh. The number 4 prompt on this list is A Face Only a Mother Could Love, which is basically a book that has a hideous cover, but because you love the book so much, like, and for that, I would have to say Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang. I don't have this book, but I will physically own this book at some point because I want to own both of the Ted Chiang short story collections, because like all the stories in there are just mind-blowing. But this cover in particular, like, it's not good. I don't like it. It's so bad. But the stories in it are so good, but the cover, I wish publishers would give sci-fi books better covers, because I swear to God, all sci-fi novels have either a very like cheesy vintage looking mass market paperback sort of cover, or something that looks very low effort and just not good, and I want it to be good because I love sci-fi, but I just think that the marketing around a lot of the genre, like books that come from that genre, is really not it. Prompt number 5 is take one thing off before you leave the house. This is a prompt for a book that has a cover that could use like one less element. For this one, I would have to say The Rhythmatist by Brandon Sanderson. Like, this cover is like, what is going on here? There are too many colors and lines and shapes, and I don't think it's really coherent visually. I'm just not a fan. I think an element of this needs to change. You know, I feel like there's at least one thing about it that needs to change. But I love the book. It's such a fun young adult middle grade sci-fi story. It's really good. But not the cover though. I wish it was different. Number 6 on this prompt list is Hypebeast. Cover that is clearly going for all the trends. And for this one, I think I'm gonna have to say The Extraordinaries by TJ Klune. Like, this book is going for every single young adult book cover trend. From the bright colors to the silhouettes and like line drawings of these two boys like looking at each other kind of romantically, like the ombre, the font over it, like it's so, what an amalgamation of everything about like Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda to all the other queer young adult books that are coming out with a similar cover of like two faces next to each other, two people next to each other, bright colored background. Like, can we get something new, something original, something different, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's just too much to ask. But yeah, so those are all the prompts for this tag. This was a really short video, and since a lot of my previous videos have been really long, hope you enjoy. And if you're a booktuber or if you make book videos, definitely do this tag as well. I tag you. I would love to know your opinions on book covers because I think it's fascinating seeing other people's opinions on book covers, like how our aesthetic tastes differ. And let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me on any of these. And just know, I don't hate any of these books. I just think the covers are atrocious. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stupid bullshit. And all my social media is always linked down below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!